All right, so for this new video, I wanted to spend a little bit of time showing you the Krea.ai tool. They have multiple features. We're going to do a dedicated video to talk about their latest video AI generation model. But here you can see they have like little stuff that can be interesting. So like you all saw this kind of like optical illusion with logo that you can do directly with just like a very intuitive user experience here. We saw the enhancer before. We're gonna take some time to looking at the real-time generation model, which I think is always super interesting because it's a very different workflow than what you can do with Midjourney. They are built on top of Stable Diffusion, so usually a lot of the complex workflow you can experiment with through Stable Diffusion. The team at Krea will always find a way to making it more accessible and available online, so you don't have to like set up everything on your local machine. But I just wanted to like quickly show you what you can do with it, and so you can like experiment with the platform because it's very different from the Midjourney workflow. But if you go on the real-time part, like the first thing that is very interesting here is when you select the text-to-image generation, when you prompt, basically as you prompt, it will generate the image. So that can be also a very interesting exercise for you to understand how Stable Diffusion model works and also the impact of your work, of your words, when you're adding them into the prompt. And so if we do like a quick test, for example, here, let's say full white. So as you see, my typing is generating the image in real time, which is like super interesting. Full white Japanese temple. Okay. Building centered in the image. So it's kind of like trippy to like seeing like all the stuff is working. And yeah, we can keep it this way for now. So here you have like multiple models that you can try and see. So this like, high resolution one. I don't know why it's getting like so dark when you're using this one. But you have the photorealistic, you can run like a quick enhancement, but then you can also send it into the enhancer feature that I showed you in the previous video. Then here you have the concept, here you have CGI, and cartoon. So you can like decide what you want to do. For this quick demo, let's just like work with photo version. You have like different ratio here. So similar than Midjourney, depending of like the ratio you use, it's gonna generating a different outcome. So we can do the 2x3 for now. And then where this is getting super interesting is like when you go into like the image to image feature. So now we're going to like image to image feature. There is this like forest background, and then there is like element here. This is just for, kind of like the default. But then this is super powerful because like basically that mean that you can just like do some like simple editing. So like for the Canva background, we can just like making it full white if we don't want or actually we can making it maybe just like, yeah, like this. So as you can see here, you're moving the content and then it's kind of like, adapting the things. So you don't have to be like an amazing graphic designer to being able to like make it work. But let's say if you want to kind of like create, like having more control over like the building and what you're doing, then you're like basically working with like the different shape you can create. And so you can use a paintbrush as well. You can use your pen brush, which is here. And so let's see. Like you can just like, I'm using a trackpad. I don't have my tablet connected here. And so as you can see here, you can like simply just like provide the system with like an input of like what's your things should look. And every time you stop, it's gonna basically. Here we go. Wow, amazing with a trackpad. And then you can be like this. And so, like my 4 years old can do it. And then, for example, if you want to like add a shape, so you can like doing this, we can like just like putting here. And so it's going to change, but then if you start to change full white Japanese Noble breeding center in the image, night time with full moon in the sky. And then as you can see here, it's like picking up, you know, like obviously that makes sense in the composition. So like you can play around with this. It's really, really interesting in my opinion. Don't judge this like quick steps that I did just here, but it is just showing you how powerful is this tool. And then here you have the AI strength. So you can also, you know, decide how much, you know, the AI will work on your quick sketch. So like if you like, you know, go very low in this case, like as you can see, is like not, you know, like doing much. But so you can decide like how much of like support from the AI you want. And then I think here, like you can get like very interesting stuff, like very minimalistic, like more render. If I want to kind of, you know, like just like remove like the sketch and go for like just like building up on shape, I can do that as well. And so here we go. Here you have like the different things. We can add another floor if we want. We can have another floor if we want. Changing the color obviously will have an impact. And that's it. So on this part is really to kind of like showing you what you can do. So you can change like the color here if you want to like play around with like some different variation. But yeah, so you can run the quick enhance. So you have this one. You can send it directly within the enhancer tab. So it's like opening up here. You have like the same variation that we saw before. We can do like a strong, for example, and you hit enhance here. So it's a very different workflow. Some people might argue that like, okay, like the render is like, you know, less, I would say sharp than in Midjourney, but you don't really care about that. And that's kind of like the beauty with this tool, and the importance of like having multiple tools within your workflow is like, you know, depending of like your skills, and the amount of control you want is usually there is this trade-off where like Midjourney is beautiful, but you have way less control than Stable Diffusion and other tool. Maybe the model is less advanced, but you have way more control. And I think Krea just did this like amazing work, especially if you're a graphic designer. But I just show you, right? Like, you know, my son can do like a better job even here, but it's just showing you that like now it's more about like the composition, what you're trying to achieve. Of course, if you use like a detailed sketch, you know, you can has this as kind of like an input. I'm going to do a quick video next when I'm going to use one of the render from Midjourney, the sculpture, as a reference, and then showing you that you can like quickly do some like editing on top of it if you want to do some adjustment, and that's going to be super powerful. So that's it. Buckle up. I'm gonna have a couple more video about Krea just because their tool is like so fun to use. Let's just like quickly see the enhancement. But here you can see, I don't know why my ratio is so weird. Okay, something weird happened in the process, but just like to show you like the enhancement, right? So it's like it's controlling my work, is adding like some like weird artifact here, but we can like get the read out of him. But yeah, it's super powerful if you want to have like more control. I don't know why it turned into a square ratio, but yeah, like easily fixed by exporting the picture and then putting it back here. See you in the next video.